Solitude often carries with it an unjust stigma. It is associated with loneliness, sadness, or social isolation. Yet, there is an art to being alone, a philosophy of solitude that reveals its profound power. When we strip away the noise and the relentless bustle of our daily lives, we encounter a space within us that is ripe with potential for self-discovery and personal growth. To be alone is not to be lonely. It is to engage in a dialogue with our truest selves. In our first exploration of solitude, consider the concept of silence. Silence is not merely the absence of sound, it is the presence of an expansive opportunity for listening. When we are alone, the cacophony of external opinions and expectations falls away, and we can truly hear the whispers of our own soul. Have you ever noticed how your mind seems to unfold itself in silence, revealing layers of thought and emotion that are often drowned out by the world's symphony? We live in an era that champions connectivity and the idea of being perpetually on. Yet, it is within the quiet moments alone that we find the clarity to understand what truly holds meaning for us. When was the last time you allowed yourself to disconnect and be with your own company, to embrace the fullness of your thoughts without the crutch of constant stimulation? In solitude, we also encounter the raw materials for creativity. Many of the world's greatest minds in art, literature, and science attribute their most profound discoveries and creations to the moments spent in solitude. When we are alone, we can tap into the wellspring of our imagination without constraint. It is in the spaciousness of solitude that ideas can germinate and grow into something truly original. What might you create if you gave yourself the space to be alone with your thoughts? Moreover, solitude allows us to recharge, much like how the earth lies fallow to restore its nutrients for the next season of growth. In a world that often values productivity over well-being, recognizing the need to rest is a revolutionary act. Being alone offers us the chance to rest not just our bodies, but our minds and spirits as well. How often do you grant yourself permission to retreat from the world and simply be? Now, let us shift our focus to self-awareness, which blossoms in the fertile ground of solitude. When we are alone, we can confront our truest feelings and desires without the mask that we often wear for society. It is a brave act to face ourselves, to acknowledge our imperfections and our strengths, to see ourselves with a clarity that is often blurred in the company of others. Have you ever been surprised by what you've learned about yourself when you've been completely alone? In these moments of self-reflection, we can align our actions with our values. Solitude offers us the canvas to paint our lives with the colors of our deepest convictions, unswayed by the hues preferred by others. How aligned do you feel with your inner values, and how might solitude help you to live in greater harmony with them? Solitude also teaches us resilience. In the quiet, we learn to rely on our inner resources, to comfort ourselves, and to be our own best companion. The ability to enjoy one's own company is a source of strength that too few cultivate. In times of challenge, this resilience becomes a beacon that guides us back to our center. Can you recall a moment when being alone helped you to find a strength you didn't know you had? We must also consider the paradox of connection within solitude. It is a profound truth that often we must be alone to truly understand the value of connection. It is in the distance from others that we can appreciate the threads that bind us. How do you perceive your relationships differently after spending time in solitude? As we conclude this first part, let us acknowledge that solitude is not about turning our back on the world, but about preparing ourselves to engage with it more fully. By honoring the need to be alone, we nurture our capacity to be present, compassionate, and authentic with others. Solitude is not an escape, but a homecoming to our inner being. The sovereignty of self. Embracing autonomy in solitude. In solitude, we find a stage for the unfolding of personal autonomy. This is the realm where we exercise the sovereignty of self, making choices unencumbered by external influences. It is here, in the quietude of our own presence, that we can listen to the inner voice that guides us toward our truest paths. Consider the concept of autonomy as the ability to make decisions that are authentically our own. It is a fundamental aspect of our humanity, yet so often our choices are colored by the expectations of society, family, and peers. Solitude provides a sanctuary where the only expectations we must meet are our own. What decisions would you make if you were free from the weight of others' opinions? In the silence of being alone, we can explore our inner landscape and discover what it is that we truly desire from life. It is a chance to dream without limitations, to envision a life that is not prescribed by societal norms but authored by our own aspirations. When was the last time you allowed yourself to dream without the confines of practicality? Autonomy in solitude also means taking responsibility for our own happiness. We often search for fulfillment in relationships, achievements, and material possessions, forgetting that true contentment comes from within. Being alone teaches us that we are the architects of our own joy. How might your life change if you took ownership of your happiness? Furthermore, solitude is the classroom for the study of our own minds. We become the observers of our thoughts and emotions, learning to navigate them with skill and wisdom. This self-mastery is the essence of personal autonomy, for it empowers us to respond to life's situations rather than react. What insights have you gained about yourself in moments of quiet reflection? In the silence of solitude, we also face our fears. It is easy to distract ourselves from our insecurities when we are surrounded by others, but when we are alone, we meet them head-on. The courage to face these fears is a powerful expression of autonomy. How does confronting your fears in solitude shape your understanding of personal power? When we practice autonomy, we also learn to set boundaries. Solitude teaches us the value of saying no to demands that drain our energy or conflict with our values. It is through these boundaries that we honor our needs and protect our inner peace. Can you think of a time when saying no was an act of self-care? An essential aspect of autonomy is the capacity for self-sufficiency. Solitude shows us that we are more capable than we often believe. Whether it's solving a problem on our own or finding contentment in our own company, we build a sense of independence that serves us in all areas of life. What have you accomplished alone that once seemed impossible? Yet autonomy does not mean detachment from the world. It is a balance between self-reliance and interdependence. Solitude helps us to appreciate the support of others, not because we need it to define us, but because we understand the value of community alongside our individuality. How do you balance your autonomy with your connections to others? As we bring this part to a close, let us recognize that autonomy is not a destination but a continuous journey of self-discovery and affirmation. The philosophy of solitude teaches us that our time alone is not a void, but a vessel filled with the potential for growth, creativity, and self-realization. The embrace of inner harmony. Cultivating self-compassion in solitude. In the tapestry of solitude, each thread is woven with the potential for self-compassion. It is within the quiet embrace of our own company that we learn to extend kindness to ourselves, to nurture our spirits with the same tenderness we might offer to a dear friend. This practice of self-compassion is a dance of healing and acceptance that enriches our relationship with ourselves. Self-compassion in solitude begins with the understanding that we are, at once, our own caretakers and companions. In the stillness, We are offered the chance to treat ourselves with gentleness, to soothe the wounds that we've carried, perhaps unknowingly, amidst the clamor of our daily lives. How do you care for yourself when no one else is watching? In the nurturing environment of solitude, we also find the space to forgive ourselves. We all carry regrets and mistakes that weigh heavily on our hearts. Alone, we have the opportunity to offer ourselves forgiveness, understanding that errors are not evidence of inadequacy but markers of our humanity. What burdens might you release if you forgave yourself as you would forgive others? Solitude is also a time to celebrate our achievements, big and small. In the company of ourselves, we can acknowledge our victories without the need for outside validation. This self-acknowledgement cultivates a sense of self-worth that is independent of external success. When was the last time you celebrated an accomplishment just for yourself? Furthermore, solitude offers a mirror for self-reflection, allowing us to see ourselves with clarity and compassion. We often judge ourselves harshly, scrutinizing our flaws with a magnifying glass. Yet, when we are alone, we can choose to gaze upon our reflection with kindness, recognizing our inherent worth. Can you look at yourself with the eyes of compassion and see the beauty within? In the quiet company of solitude, we also learn the rhythm of self-care. It is a time to attend to our needs, both physical and emotional, without the distractions of life's demands. Whether it's through meditation, a walk in nature, or simply resting, we honor our well-being. What acts of self-care do you prioritize when you're alone? Self-compassion in solitude also means allowing ourselves to feel our emotions fully. In the presence of others, we might mask our true feelings, but when we are alone, we can let them flow freely. It is through this honest emotional expression that we heal and grow. What emotions might you be holding back that need the freedom to be felt? Moreover, solitude is a fertile ground for cultivating gratitude. When we step back from the chaos, we can see the blessings in our lives with greater clarity. This practice of gratitude is a form of self-compassion, as it shifts our focus from what we lack to what we possess. What are you grateful for in your life right now? As we embrace solitude, we also encounter the opportunity for self-renewal. It is a chance to shed old skins, to release outdated beliefs about who we are and what we are capable of. This process of transformation is a compassionate act, allowing us to evolve and adapt with grace. How might solitude help you to transform into a truer version of yourself? In this segment, we have explored the serene landscape of self-compassion that solitude offers. Through forgiving, celebrating, reflecting, caring, feeling, thanking, and renewing, we build a foundation of love for ourselves that can withstand the storms of life. The serenity spectrum, navigating the depths of inner peace through solitude. In the final act of our introspective journey, we delve into the tranquil waters of inner peace, exploring how solitude can be the vessel that guides us to its shores. This serenity spectrum, with solitude as its prism, refracts the light of our being into the pure colors of tranquility, balance, and harmony within ourselves. The search for inner peace is as ancient as humanity itself, yet it often eludes us in the hustle of modern life. Solitude offers a respite, a sacred space where the currents of external chaos cannot reach. Here, in the quietude, we can attune to the gentle rhythm of our own breath and heartbeat, the original melodies of existence. How does the simple act of being alone allow you to sync with the natural pace of life? Inner peace in solitude is an exercise in presence. Without the distractions of our usual environments, we can practice being wholly in the moment. Each second becomes an opportunity to witness the unfolding of life, to savor the sensory experiences that we often overlook. What moments of presence have you savored in your quiet times alone? Solitude also invites us to declutter our minds. Just as we periodically tidy our physical spaces, our mental landscapes require regular attention. In the stillness, we can sort through our thoughts, keeping what serves us and gently releasing what does not. This mental decluttering is essential to achieving a state of inner peace. What mental clutter might you need to clear to find tranquility? As we seek inner peace, solitude becomes a time to harmonize with our values and beliefs. When we are alone, we can assess whether our lives reflect what we truly hold dear. This alignment is a cornerstone of tranquility, for peace cannot thrive in a life riddled with contradiction. How closely does your life align with your core values? In the embrace of solitude, we are also reminded of the impermanence of all things. Inner peace comes from understanding that both joys and sorrows are transient. This wisdom allows us to experience life's highs and lows with equanimity. How has solitude helped you to accept the impermanence of life's experiences? Moreover, solitude teaches us the art of letting go. Inner peace is often obstructed by our grasp on things we cannot control. In our aloneness, we can practice the liberating art of release, trusting that life will unfold as it should. What might you let go of to deepen your sense of peace? Solitude also fosters the strength to confront our inner conflicts. Peace does not mean the absence of struggle. It means the presence of a resilient spirit that can navigate through storms. Alone, we can face our inner battles with courage and emerge wiser and more at peace. Can you recall a time when solitude helped you to resolve an inner conflict? As we conclude, let us consider the paradox that in seeking inner peace, solitude reveals our interconnectedness with all life. In the silence, we recognize that we are part of a larger whole, and this realization brings a profound peace that transcends the individual self. How has solitude deepened your sense of connection to the world around you? In this final exploration, we have traversed the serene spectrum of solitude, discovering how the quiet journey within can lead us to a sanctuary of inner peace. It is in the silent dialogue with ourselves that we uncover the wisdom, balance, and harmony that bring tranquility to our lives. With this, we close the curtain on our exploration, but the path to inner peace through solitude is ever present, inviting you to walk its peaceful trails whenever you choose. Are there any further insights or reflections you would like to explore within the realm of solitude?